Tiffany here with a new What's for Dinner video. The meals in this video are going to be easy, they're going to be budget friendly. I've got some new slow cooker meals in this one for you. Let's get right into it. First up is a crock pot French onion chicken. I took advantage of the fact that I was working from home this day, and during my lunch break, I put in some chicken. I don't make chicken in the slow cooker often because it cooks so quickly, and when I put stuff in the slow cooker, I go to work and I'm gone for 10 hours of the day. So on this day, since I was home, I decided to put this in at lunchtime and then it was ready for dinner. I used frozen chicken strips. So these were frozen chicken tenders that I had portioned out. So I used 2 of the portions of that, and then a packet of the Lipton onion soup mix, and then a can of the condensed French onion soup from Campbell's. And then it didn't call for any water, but I just wanted to get the rest of the stuff out of the can. So I put a little bit of water in there, put that in the crock pot, and then it didn't call for you to shred the chicken, but mine was already falling apart in there and it was very, very tender. So I did shred mine up just the rest of the way. So this only took about 4 hours on high in the crock pot. Honestly, I probably could have done 4 hours on low and it would have been done. Chicken just cooks so fast in my slow cooker. So this, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, was not something that I will make again. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. Also, here I deviated from the recipe a little bit. I had provolone on hand and not Swiss, so I used provolone. The recipe called for Swiss. I just covered the entire thing, put the lid back on, and let it melt. But I was not a fan, and I'll tell you more about that after my potatoes here. So I decided to do some mashed potatoes with this, and these I was a fan of. I love mashed potatoes. So to make them, I simply took my cooked potatoes with some butter, a little bit of heavy cream, some salt, pepper, paprika, and a little bit of onion and garlic powder, and then I just put everything mashed with a potato masher, and these came out absolutely delicious. I had not made mashed potatoes in quite a long time because I had a few mashed potato fails last year, and if you've been around my channel for a while, maybe you remember those. They were not my finest moments. I also made some homemade bread. I did show this on my channel a while back, and I can link that below. It's a really easy, no-knead bread. And then here is what it looks like when everything kind of melted together. So as I mentioned, I won't necessarily be making this one again. It did not taste bad, but I have gotten so spoiled, I think, by making my own French onion soup that using that canned, condensed French onion soup, I could really taste the canned soup in it. So if you are a fan of that, definitely try this. You'll probably like it. But I just couldn't really get over the taste of that. So this was not a preferred recipe, but it wasn't bad. Next up, do y'all ever have nights where you just don't know what you want to eat? And so you just put it off and put it off, and then it gets to be 9:42 p.m. and you have a salad and onion rings because that's all that sounds good, because that's what this particular day was. I had some of the bacon avocado ranch chopped salad mix, and I had veggies that I added to this. This may look familiar because I also did this in last week's video. I really was into that salad this particular week, and I added cucumber, bell pepper, onion, and some extra carrots to it just to bulk it up a little bit. And then really all I wanted that night was onion rings. And so I figured, well, I'll at least have a salad so I don't just have a large portion of onion rings. And that was dinner at 9:42 p.m. And then I have another slow cooker recipe in this video. I really took advantage of that slow cooker this week because in addition to working from home a couple days, I then on the days that I was working in person was working my later shift. And on those nights, it is best if I already have food ready for me when I get home. Otherwise, I end up getting takeout, which I did get takeout one of the nights, but at least this night I did not. So this is a take on the cabbage soup that is the most popular video on my channel. So this is a slow cooker version, and then the main difference here is that I added sausage to it as well, because I had sausage that I planned on doing something else with. That didn't happen, so I ended up just adding it into my cabbage soup here. So for my cabbage soup, it is very simple. It is carrots, onions, celery, a can of diced tomatoes, a little bit of spinach. Most of my stuff was using things up from the freezer. And then for spices, I add some ginger paste. I used a little bit of garlic powder because I didn't have too much garlic left. And then I also have in there some pepper, water, a vegetable bouillon cube in there with the water. And then I also season this with a little bit of cayenne and a little bit of turmeric in my cabbage soup. And then I added sausage to it that was already cooked, put it on for 10 hours on low in the slow cooker, and it was ready to go when I got home. If you do want to see the Instant Pot version of this, I will link that in the description box down below. That one is a really fast dinner, and it's a nice way to get some extra veggies in. This one getting a little extra protein with that sausage, and I still had a little bit of that homemade bread left, so I had that too. And for the last homemade meal in this video, I've got air fryer pork chops. So I had pork chops that I got on sale. Anytime I can find meat for under $5 these days, I will grab it, and I found pork chops for less than $5, so I grabbed some pork chops and portioned them out, put some in the freezer, and then for this one, I was just going to do it quick in the air fryer. I'm using Montreal steak seasoning and seasoning that really well on both sides. That's one of my favorite things to season pork with, and it's also really good on pork tenderloin. If you ever do pork tenderloin and you don't know what to season it with, definitely recommend the Montreal steak seasoning. I put it in the air fryer at 400 for 7 minutes on each side until it was fully cooked, and then I let it rest. While that was cooking, I was also making some Italian potatoes to go along with this. So in my pan, I've got some extra virgin olive oil, half an onion, and then I seasoned the half of an onion with some salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And then once my onions start to cook up a little bit in that oil, I add some cooked potatoes. These are cooked most of the way through. And then I just finished out the cooking a little bit in the pan with the oil and everything. And then I did add more seasoning to this as well. Once I got that all incorporated with the onions, I added in the same salt, pepper, and garlic powder. But then on top of that, I also added in a whole bunch of Italian seasoning blend right on top here. And this is one of my favorite ways to have potatoes. I love potatoes in general. There are very few ways that I don't want a potato, but this is one of my favorites. And then, as I mentioned before, I was really into this bacon avocado ranch salad kit last week, but this particular one, it wasn't past the date, but the cabbage and lettuce and everything didn't smell great. It smelled like it had already started to go bad, but I didn't want it to go fully to waste. So all of my veggies that I had chopped up to bulk up the salad, I just used those. I had some pepper, some red, yellow, and orange bell pepper, as well as some cucumber. And I added all of the extras that go in that salad kit into there, put the dressing that comes with it on it, and then I shook it up, and this was so good. So if you ever have that situation where maybe you've gotten one of those salad kits on reduced clearance and it's right at the date and it just isn't right, or something smells off, those toppings do not go bad, usually do not go bad at the same time that the lettuce and everything does. Most of those things will store for a little bit longer. So if they are still good, you can repurpose them like I did here. And this was so good. I could not wait to have the leftovers of it for lunch the day after this. So here is my final product. That pork chop was so good. And I had not had a pork chop in a long time. And it was so juicy and well done in the air fryer. And I always have pork chops with applesauce. That is something that I always had growing up. We never had pork without applesauce. So I've got the applesauce, the potatoes, and the salad. Delicious dinner. I mentioned earlier in the video that I did some working from home this week, which is very, very rare for me. I have not worked from home in a year and a half. Since I went back to work, I really have not worked from home at all. So by the end of day 2 of working from home, I was going stir crazy. I got Taco Bell. I had a reward that was about to expire for a free item. It was going to expire that particular day. So I got a Mexican pizza combo and then some nachos and cheese. When having Taco Bell, I must have nacho cheese sauce and mild sauce on every bite of my food. It's just mandatory. Anyone else do that when they go to Taco Bell? Let me know in the comments. And my goal for the year is to only have takeout at maximum twice a week. And I did have it twice this week, but I didn't go over twice. So I did stick to that. I got Panda Express on one of the nights that I did have to work late. And my Panda Express, I generally get the half and half, the half fried rice, half chow mein, and then usually either orange chicken or honey sesame chicken, and one of the chickens that comes with a veggie or beef with broccoli. So I got the string bean chicken and the honey sesame chicken, and they really piled it on this night. I opened up the container and I was shocked with just how much food there was, especially considering it was one of the managers that had been the one to put my plate together. Thanks so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you did, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more content.